I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat, and I don't want this health care bill. You got provisions there where if you're 55 or older, you don't get health care, or if you're infirm, you don't get health care because you're not as needed to society, or you're going to set up a committee to tell you what benefits you can have. We don't want your health care program. We don't want it. The people don't want it. What part of that don't you understand? Why you support something that the people don't want? That's my question. Well, let's see if that ever makes it up there.
Let me thank Real Man for his video contribution, his submission. We appreciate it very much. Real Man, let me just tell you this. If, in fact, healthcare reform had anything to do with what you think is in this legislation, nobody in America would support it or should support it. So let's get the record straight. You say, and I quote, if you are 55 or older, you don't get health care, or if you are infirm, you don't get health care because you're not needed by society. That's what you said you think is in this health care legislation. Real Man, it ain't in there. You could read it up and down and turn it around 50 times. It ain't in there. It shouldn't be in there. It would be an outrage to this country if it were in there. One of the concerns that I have about this whole discussion, in terms of healthcare and in terms of many other issues, is in fact how people get the information that they get in order to make rational decisions in a democratic society. And what I fear very much, and I think what Real Man is kind of telling us, is there are a lot of people out there who get their facts and their figures and their numbers and everything else from right-wing radio, from the Rush Limbaughs, the Sean Hannitys, get it from Fox Television, get it from people who in many, many instances are simply lying or at best distorting reality. So that whole issue of the dissemination of information in a democratic society is even a more important issue than healthcare. Now, Real Man says, we don't want it, we don't want it. Well, Real Man, let me tell you who does want it. There are 46 million people in this country who have no health insurance at all. They want it. There are 60 million people who don't have access to a doctor on a regular basis, and over 18,000 of those folks die every single year, because they don't go to a doctor when they should. They want health care. There are small businesses in this country who cannot afford to pay 10, 20, 30% more every single year for health care, and who understand that we are spending twice as much per person on health care as any other nation on earth, and that we're wasting hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in administration and in profiteering and in huge CEO compensation benefits for the top CEOs of private health insurance companies. Those people want health care reform. And I think mostly the average American who sits around and says, how could it be that in our great country we remain the only nation of the entire industrialized world that does not guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child as a right. So, Real Man, I hope that you'll look at other sources of information for your facts, and I hope that you will join us in the fight to make sure that every single American has high quality, comprehensive, cost-effective health care, because that is what I think this nation needs. Thank you.